Hey guys, today I want to talk about something that's a little different. I don't usually recommend things for Blizzard to do. I don't usually recommend anything for changes in the game. I usually just kind of uh, adapt with the game how it is. But this is one of those features that I personally think would be one of the best changes to happen to Heroes of the Storm, period. So, what is it? Why do I think it's that important? Well, let's start off by explaining a little bit of what I think is one of the largest problems of the Heroes of Storm, which is, and a lot of people have said that, they feel like the education of this game is lackluster, and they feel like a lot of people don't know what they're doing in the game, and it makes it to where it's unenjoyable for everyone because then everyone's trying to tell people what to do. People get really defensive, people get arguing about everything. Any rank, there's always things that people don't know what to do, and it's one of those things that's just really challenging. But not just that, this is a game where you can blame your team for everything. If you die as a healer, then you could blame your team and say, oh, my tank wasn't in position. But you never start blaming yourself and going, hey, I wasn't in position. I shouldn't have died as a healer. I could have just walked out of this. I never really needed to be in this position whatsoever. Which is why I wanted to bring up something that World of Warcraft did, and this is a feature that I would love for them to put it into Heroes of the Storm, because I think this will solve the problems that we're having right now of less education and people blaming other people for things. So let me get into it. So I'm going to play this video from Jin. If you guys don't know who Jin is, he makes a bunch of YouTube videos for a variety of games, including World of Warcraft. And this video is from 2013, so 5 years ago. All right. So let me play this game, and I'm going to talk about what this is and what he's doing in here. He is currently doing something that is called a proving grounds or challenge area. What he has to do is he has to keep this team of bots up through a lot of things that are happening. Those things include that giant AoE which did damage to everyone and also will interrupt heals that you're currently casting. As you can see, it interrupts the different heals that are happening. So he needs to keep everyone alive despite the fact that some enemies are doing large-scale AoEs, some enemies are doing individual attacks, and some enemies will throw fire on the ground. And he needs to go through and heal all of these, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit so you can see how he has to adjust based off of all of these things that are happening. Well, I think it would be awesome if Heroes of the Storm could do something like this, purely because imagine that there was a situation where someone would jump on you and you need to heal your team through a lot of things, and it's something that's extremely difficult. Like, you have to play everything perfectly. Like, as you saw, he almost died right there. He popped a bunch of cooldowns just to survive. This is what we need in Heroes of the Storm, something that people will jump on you, and you can't blame the bots for not protecting you because there is a way to win this. Every single challenge has a way to win it, but you need to do everything perfectly. And there's levels to this challenge. The basic bronze level of the challenge is you need to complete that in order to be able to queue for basic dungeons. The silver, you need to complete that to be able to queue for raids. And then gold was something that was just a personal achievement. It was very, very difficult, but it wasn't required for anything, and it was just a personal achievement. Well, I think that this alone as a option, a proving grounds, would be something really cool. Maybe don't make it a requirement, but maybe reward people for doing it. Say you create this in Heroes of the Storm, and you make it to where every time that they complete it for a new hero, they get a loot box, or they get something out of it. And you could also get like a little icon or something that you could put on each of the heroes you've gone through and completed the gold with. So you could have a portrait with your hero that has a little gold star on it that says that you completed the proving grounds. This gives people an encouragement for doing this proving grounds, and it shows that it's harder to blame your team if you can't complete a proving grounds. What I mean by that is if someone dies in your proving grounds, that's on you. Like, you should have been healing them differently. You should have been doing things differently. It's on you that people actually died in that proving grounds because the bots are going to do the same exact thing every single time. It's up to you to adapt and change the scenarios. I think this is going to cause people to get out of the mentality of blaming the tank because they're going to need to learn that it's on them to reposition so that they don't die. It's on them to reposition so that they can get more kills. They need to kill certain people fast enough, or else people might die on their team. They might need to change their focus around, or else people might die on their team. This alone, this one feature alone, can change the mentality of so many people. And I'm not just saying that because I believe it, and I'm just saying it, but this actually happened in Mist of Pandaria. You see, in the expansion that was right before Mist of Pandaria, or at least Cataclysm, I remember this in Cataclysm, was tanks would often die really quick, and they would blame it on the tank. Like, people would, the DPS would blame it on the healer would blame it on the tank, but at the end of the day, people weren't interrupting, people weren't doing CCs, people weren't doing anything. So when these Proving Grounds came out in Mist of Pandaria, everyone shut up about everything, and they started actually CCing more, they started interrupting more, they started moving out of fire more, because they knew that they had to do this on their own when bots were in control of everything, and when bots always did the same thing every time. So when they actually had to adapt on their own, they learned, and it improved the community in general. A lot of people said that they liked Mist of Pandaria's dungeons and raids the best because they felt like, well, it didn't have the community from vanilla. Everyone seemed like they enjoyed them more, and everyone worked together better. And I think it's because they added these Proving Grounds in there that made it to where everyone stopped blaming each other and started thinking every time that someone died, they thought to themselves, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently to make it to where we didn't die there? And that's what we need in Heroes of the Storm. We need to change everyone's mentality to stop blaming the other 4 people on your team and start asking yourself, what could you have done differently? And I think that Proving Grounds would be a great way for Blizzard to adjust everyone's mentality to answer that problem, as I personally felt like it answered it in Mist of Pandaria. And it is something that, while it would be difficult to program in Heroes of the Storm, we already have tutorials. It would be fun to just find a way to adjust this. I'd love to help them in any way that I possibly can, but I have no programming knowledge, so I can't really do that. I understand it would be pretty difficult, but that's something that I just kind of wanted to share with everyone, is a feature that I think would really make this game so much better. I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below. I think that it's something that it doesn't need to be required. It could be something that's encouraged, and also it's something for new players too. A lot of new players would love to know at what point they could go into unranked, at what point they could go into quick match, what point they could stop doing versus AI. These Proving Grounds might actually prove to them that they're good enough to enter the actual thing. This might be a better stage for new players to get into the game, and it could be a way to get extra loot boxes by unlocking more heroes. I mean, maybe we could do this as something where it only gives out gold, so it helps new players, but players that already have all the heroes unlocked, it doesn't help them out at all. I'm not really sure. I think that they can make this into a feature that betters the community and also helps new players get introduced into the game and find it an easier path for them to enter into the competitive scene, or at least the PvP aspect, and get out of the versus AI. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would this feature help out Heroes of the Storm? Is this something that you like? Did you remember this from Mist of Pandaria? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, check out some of my other videos. Feel free to subscribe. And if you really like my videos, there's a bell that's next to subscription. Click that, and you'll get notified whenever I bring out a new video. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you all watching this video.